I mean, we knew we were gonna have issues with clearance to the frame and everything. It's just more issues than we thought we'd have. We're doing everything we possibly can to make it work, but we just have to look at the instructions and look at what we can maybe change. And I mean, regardless, it's cool. You just might not be able to roll it all the way back. So today, we're gonna just keep installing some stuff on the car. For the first time ever, we'll be taking the Ragtop out of the packaging and getting that in and seeing. We already know we have to modify a couple things on it as far as like the release handle and stuff because the cage is so close, but yeah, just keep plugging away. We got a bunch of stuff on the way too. We have the door seals. We already have all the window seals, some fender seals, the bushings for the bags, which they don't manufacture anymore. So the fact that we could get those from the manufacturer was pretty lucky. They're back stock. Yeah, big thing's just getting the car together and then making sure that everything we've built and everything that we have fits right before we really start locking everything down. The car will finally be off the lift by the end of the week because we'll have those bag bushings in and then be back to a rolling chassis, which is always just nice. Stuff and things. She big.
This. Oh, it's in the way when you try to slide it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those.
This is fun. The anchor's out?
Yeah.
Got it then.
See if anything clears. That's good.
Good sign. I might have to take more screws out because I might have to lift these rails up way higher. No, it's like we need to drill another hole just for that nut to sit through, or we can chop it flush. I don't know. Yeah, I need to check. I mean, we knew we were going to have issues with clearance to the frame and everything. It's just more issues than we thought we'd have. So, I mean, it's going to have to stare at it for a while and figure out what we can do to alter it, or if it comes down to it, it's just, it'll still be a 60-inch Ragtop. You'll only have 30 inches of travel in it. We're doing everything we possibly can to make it work, but
Clear now.
we just have to look at the instructions and look at what we can maybe change. And I mean, regardless, it's cool. You just might not be able to roll it all the way back. Yeah, I mean, getting him to fit in the car was already such a challenge. So, I mean, obviously this kit isn't made for a tube chassis car. So we were already being ambitious with that. And then at this point, like, we're going to just have to live with it because grafting the entire roof from the donor car just doesn't sound right either because it's not a paint car on the exterior. Only the new metal was getting painted. So it might just be a live with it type of thing. It's still a flex either way. Like, it's still super cool. Really, this is just a mock-up because we never took that top out of the bag. So we're probably going to remove everything, pull the frame, seal it down. I think we have a couple more holes to drill. And then the issue is it's like light gray, so we don't want to ruin it by just having it sit in the shop either. So we got to figure out when we're going to final install it. Name of the game is Not Confident. Oh, we gotta pop it out of those holes. So close. Is it, or is it just resting on threads? I think if we get it to this level, though, we can clear.
Well, if we get it to these cut off.
Yeah, super tight. Because, yeah, I'm thinking just a piece of strap, this thickness, all the way across. Because, I mean, really, like, these are level with the bottom of it anyways.
Yes. 29 and 5/16 in the middle, and it's 3 and 3. I need to figure this.
So we pulled everything apart. This is the very front rail, which is what we thought was our issue because it's kind of this C channel. As you can see, it barely clears. We're going to have to shave this bottom part of it, and then we're going to have to modify the tensioners and the latch mechanism. But right now we're measuring the hole for the fabric tensioners, and that'll determine how big of a nut we can put on, or on, they're called sex bolts. So like, it's basically a threaded stud, a hollow threaded stud, and then a nut or the bolt threads directly into that, and then they clamp on the faces. We use them for our handbrakes, but it's just a super flush fitting that basically acts as like a spacer and a rod. So if we can get something to clear this, we should be good. Mine's 375, yeah, basically 0.4. And we're having an issue where our hole in the roof isn't perfect. So right here over the main hoop is like 1/8 of an inch wider than everything else. So this kind of binds up as we go, which could be due to the fact that we cut the frame to clear the main hoop or something, but we aren't really sure. So we're probably going to waller out like a bunch of holes and try to clamp this thing together to get the distance all at 39 3/16, I believe was the number. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, you know, finding issues, working through issues, creating more issues. Build custom cars. This is way more promising than we thought this was going to just hammer into stuff. So the fact that it's bowed helps a lot. Want me to pop it out and shave it down so we can completely eliminate our rubbing issue? Will you help? Help me. So yeah, it just gets really tight through here. But then like as you get closer to the front, it's just fine. Help me, Tom Cruise. So this frame goes this way, faces this direction for the latch. These springs sit on top of here, and then this whole thing gets clamped down. You gotta push it out. So this whole thing is under tension for the fabric. And these were with washers. These are the stock T-handles that hang they just hang too low for us. So this is one of those sex bolts. And this will go in here and just barely clear through the frame, if it even will right now. Like that. Then I'll be able to tension with that Phillips head screw. And hopefully it works. Is it welded in? The quality of this thing is decent. Like, if it wasn't such a custom job, it would have been nice to bolt this thing in and just leave it.
So we gotta cut these down because we only can have that much thread on it because the sex bolt isn't threaded all the way to the head of the thing. So it only goes on so far.
Won't sponsor a Super Burrito. That'll be a problem. We're back from lunch. We cut the handle stud by about 60%. And then we're using our jig that we run for other parts. We use this jig to make sure everything's perfectly 90. So it's a machined hole that holds everything. And then I'll just weld this up real quick. I'll try to put it all back together and see if it clears. This is what holds the hook. And it's like this offset thing. And then the hook sits in here. So then as it rotates, it like comes out and then grabs and then comes back in. So hopefully it'll work. I need to thread this out a little bit. The hook hits it. Or do you just want me to fuse it? Fuse it and grind it, he says. She's hot. Heat wave. Hook your boys up. Use them every day. I say we just lop it off.
You want to be safe or?
Well, safe. Works. I thought it would go all the way back. It's pretty cool.
Mounting point?
No. I just give you a specific dimension of hole you need to cut. You could either go forward or back. But in this car, you can't go back because there's that rib in the back for the.
Such a lucky boy.
Ragtop's in. It needed much more modification than we anticipated, and I mean, we both have never done a ragtop before, so for our first one to be a 60-inch over a tube chassis was interesting, but it's a cool thing. It's going to look good on the car. We finally have the roof closed. The hole in the roof, even before we did all this, like just having the ragtop cut really helped welding all of the tube chassis. So, I mean, I'm thankful that we did it, but it was definitely a pain in the ass.
Cut the original handle mount, and that original mount had an Allen key hole in the bolt. So we're planning just to get a T handle Allen wrench thing, and then just cut it down. So that way you can just keep it in the car with you to open and close. The original handle was like 3 inches long, so it just immediately hit the roll cage as soon as you try to slide it back.
And then, yeah, I mean, we'll make it like a little keychain thing, because the car will have like keyless start and all that stuff. So you'll have your little key fob that disables everything so you can start the car. So it can just sit on that keychain. And then there has to kind of be a designated spot for that in the car too. So it'll all be together. And then if you were to lose it, it's not a big deal because it's just an Allen hole. But yeah, it fits. That was a big thing. It works. So yeah, I mean, if you guys like what we're doing here, yeah, just keep watching the videos and share it with a friend. Can't thank you guys enough for all the support you guys have given us so far.
It's got electrolytes. It's what plants crave.
Baja Blast.
Baja Blast. If you don't believe me, ask our president, Terry Crews.